I, Miss Gillette, today am in my natural habitat, which would be a turtle, because I like to think slowly through math problems, right? Okay, today we are doing 9.2. We are going to relate hundredths, not hundred, hundredths, THS, and decimals. So, our I count statement, and we're going to do it like turtles, but we're going to do it nice and slow. I can record hundreds as fractions and decimals. Apparently tortoises sound old too. But, okay, see if you can help the tortoise out with this problem. So, in the tortoise and the hare, the tortoise, me, obviously I'm going to win this race, won by 1/100 seconds. We want to write this as a decimal because when we're talking about it in terms of racing, we never look at it in fractions, we always look at it in decimals. So, let's take our important information. We have that doesn't work. Let's try again. We have 1/100, and we're using seconds, okay? And we want to transfer it to a decimal. So how do we take this 1/100 and make it into a decimal? Well, let me remind you of something you might have forgotten about. So, we have, let's say we have the number 73. Then we have a decimal, right? And then we have numbers over here. Let's say we have 64 hundredths. So right here, anything behind the decimal, remember, it's going to have the THS. Okay? So this would be the tenths with the THS. That's what we talked about yesterday. And this is the hundredths with the THS. So the only thing you have to remember about behind the decimal is, unlike this is the 1 and 10s, we skip the ones place in the decimals, and we jump straight to tens and then hundredths. So, and then they have the THS. So as you get closer to the decimal, it's just going the opposite. So if you have tens here, you go tens, hundredths, thousandths, tenths, thousandths, right, and so on and so forth. So we're talking about this place behind the decimal today, the hundredths place, okay? So we want to see how fast the tortoise and hare won by. So how much did the tortoise win by? Remember, this race was really close. So how could we write this as a 1/100 as a decimal? Well, we put our decimal place in, and we don't have a 1 in 100, so there's no whole number, so you can put a 0 if you want. And then we want to put it in the hundredths place. So the 1, this isn't the hundredths place, but this is the hundredths place. So we put a 1 here. But we can't just leave it like that, because then it just looks like 1/10. We actually have to put a 0 here. So this number reads 1/100. Just like 1/100, 100th, 100th. So this is how much the tortoise won by this one, because of course I'm going to win this race. All right, so it's actually easier than you think. Let's talk about it in terms of what this would look like as a picture. So I'm going to move you on over here. Okay, so here is, I know it's kind of hard to see, let's see if it adjusts. Okay, each of these grids over here is 100 cubes, right? So this is all out of 100. So if we were filling in 1/100th, because remember fractions are part of a whole, so are these decimals, we would just be filling in this very first one right here. That would be it. That would be our whole 1/100th. I just realized that my board is not connected, but we're going to just work with it, okay? It'll be fine. So, 1/100th is just one of these little tiny pieces. Fabulous. Okay, let's go back over here. I'm going to be moving a lot, so don't get sick on me. Hopefully none of you have motion sickness. All right. Let's talk about this. Example number 1. It's actually a lot simpler than you think it might be. If we had a number that is 4 and 25 over 100. Actually, let's do 3 and 25 over 100. Okay? How could we take this number and write it as a decimal? Well, let's just think about it. 3 is a whole number, so let's write a big 3. And then this is going to be our decimal, so let's put our decimal place in. And then it's over 100th, so we just put the 25 in the 100th place. We know that this is the 10th place, this is the 100th place, so all I do is put 3 and 25 hundredths. So this 3 and 25 hundredths is the same thing as this 3 and 25 hundredths. Okay, really simple. All we're doing, instead of putting it over that 100, is just moving it into the 100th place as decimals. So let me scroll my church. I'll scroll back over here. So I know I can't fill this in because my thing isn't working. But, so if we were to fill this in, we have 3 and 25 hundredths. So what I would do is I'd fill in 3 of these. So I'd completely fill this one in, completely fill this one in, completely fill that one in. So we have 3 holes. And then my last one is out of 100. And so we are going to fill in, it's 25 over 25 hundredths. So we would fill in 25 of these. So you'd have 3 complete ones and 25 of those. Sorry that my board's not connected. All right, last time, let's move back over here. Sorry, guys. That was fun. You guys are totally going to be sick after this video. All right. Now let's try it. I bet we can do them pretty fast at this point. So example number 2. If we have 31 over 100, how do we write this as a decimal? Well, there's no whole number, so we have 0 point, and you put this in the 100th place, 31 hundredths. So this 31 over 100 is the same thing as this 31 hundredths. How simple, we're just transferring, okay? Now let's try another one. Example number 3. What if I have 68 over 100? Once again, there's no whole numbers, so I'm just going to put 0, and then we're going to put in the hundredths place, which is 2 after the decimal, 68. So 68 over 100 is the same thing as 68 hundredths. Okay, don't get too cocky now. Don't think, oh, Vichelette, I totally got this. I'm going to give you one, and we'll see how you do. Actually, let's make this your first pause problem. We'll see if the turtle can trick you. Okay. If you have 7 over 100, write this as a decimal. Pause and give it a try, but obviously I'm going to keep going. All right. So there's no whole number, so I'm going to put a 0. And then I have to put it in the hundredths place. So that's 2 after the decimal. I have to put it here. Don't forget, we can't just leave this blank here. We have to put a 0. So if you wrote this is 7/10. That's wrong. It has to be this. This is 700. All right. Let's try example 5, and then I'll give you your last pause problem. Let's do 6 and 19 over 100. Okay, this one is a tad different because we got a whole number. So we just put the whole number before the decimal, put in our decimal, and we want to put it in the hundredths place. So this reads 6 and 19 hundredths, or 6 and 19 over 100. Same thing. Okay, this is your last pause problem. Remember, you can go as slow as you want, because speed isn't the name of the game, just like they told us in there. Okay, last one. Here's pause problem number 2, or example number 7. If I gave you 9 and 33 over 100. You pause, see if you can solve it, and then, but I'm going to keep going. But you pause it. All right, so 9 is my whole number. I'll put it before. And it has to be in the hundredths place, so 33 hundredths. Bada boom, bada bing. Nice and easy today. I hope you get it. If you don't, talk to me. I'm the teacher. Okay, have a good day. Bye, friends.